Hey guys, Sak here from SAKITECH, and in today's video what we're going to do is we are going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE with the iPhone 12. Now these phones, the S20 FE and the iPhone 12, are not quite flagship category smartphones, but they also are not mid-range smartphones. They sit between the mid-range and the flagship, so they're semi-flagship smartphones. And of course the price on this one in some markets is $600 or $700, and the price on this one is $800 to get you started. And of course people are wondering which one is better, so let's do a full comparison side by side of every aspect and see which phone is the best choice. Alright, so the very first thing I want to talk about is the build and design. First, let's talk about the design of these phones. Now when you look at them side by side from the front, there is no question that the Samsung phones looks much more futuristic. It's got a tiny cutout on the side. It's got smaller bezels around the phone except the bottom part here, but the iPhone has slightly thicker bezels as you can see, and of course it's got that huge notch on the top. So from this angle, this phone, if somebody just looked at it, would conclude looks more futuristic, more modernized. So frontal design win goes to the S20 FE. Now when we flip these phones over, okay, as far as the actual design is concerned, it's just going to be based on your subjective preference. In my case, I think both of these designs are in fact very good looking. And both phones come in various colors to satisfy your needs. This one comes in red, this one comes in white. It's all up to you. And there's many other color options. Now, when we dive into the actual build quality, the iPhone 12 takes a quick lead. This over here is in fact a glass build, and this one over here is a combination of glass and plastic, but mostly it is a plastic build. So this is going to be a more durable smartphone. From the rear, on the sides, they both have aluminum body, okay? So the edges are aluminum, so that's a strong bond on the edges on both of these smartphones. We have aluminum and aluminum. I do like the flat matte finish on the iPhone 12 more, a little bit more than the curves that we have on the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. One more thing, the FE is in fact matte in the back because it is plastic. This one is glass, but it's shiny glass. So if you get any other color other than the white, you're going to see your fingerprints and finger smudges all the time. With this one, that's not going to be an issue as big as on this one. In any other color, in the white color, it's hard to see the fingerprints. That's why I got this one. When we flip to the front, the glass on the iPhone is rated to be even stronger than Gorilla Glass Victus, which is being used in top flagship Samsung smartphones. This one over here is Gorilla Glass 3, so when it comes to the glass build on the front, the durability and the scratch resistant rating, this one also takes the lead in that category. Now both smartphones have dual stereo speakers. They sound fantastic. Neither phone has a headphone jack, and both phones have IP68 grade water resistance. So in this category, the design goes to the S20 FE. The build quality goes to the iPhone. It is the more expensive feeling product. Now let's move on and talk about the performance and the speed of these smartphones. Alright, so this phone has a Snapdragon 865 processor, 6 GB of RAM, and 128 GB of base storage. It also has the option to expand with a micro SD expansion option. So you can add more storage if you want to. The iPhone comes with that powerful A14 Bionic chip, 4 GB of RAM, and base 64 GB of storage. So you are getting less storage for $800. Here you get 128 GB, and this is expandable. So in the storage race, the S20 FE wins. Now let's move on and talk about the actual performance. When it comes to performance, the iPhone 12 with the A14 chip takes a huge lead. Let me give you an example. I'm going to launch my Geekbench tool over here. I'm going to go back over to my recent results here. Tap on history. Just did this today. So that's the Geekbench score. Now with this one here, tap on history, go into the CPU, and there we have it. So single core 908, single core 1590, multi-core 3301, multi-core speed 4027. So the iPhone takes the lead in actual performance, and you can actually use that performance when you're editing 4K videos right on your iPhone. It handles heavy duty tasks just like the most powerful iPad could do. The S20 FE is not going to be able to match that kind of professional level performance. Now that's not to say this is a slow phone. This simply is too fast. Okay, so storage race, this one wins. The performance race, this one takes the lead. Let's move on. Now, both of these phones have top level displays. This is a Super AMOLED display. It's got a 6.5-inch screen and it's got 1080 by 2400 pixels, which gives us 407 pixels per inches. Now the iPhone has a slightly sharper screen. The screen is smaller at 6.1 inches, but the resolution is 2532 by 1170 with 460 pixels per inches. It is also an OLED display. This one is known as the Super Retina display. So when it comes to overall quality, both phones are going to give you top level display performance. They're extremely bright, crisp, clear, and sharp. However, the S20 FE does have a special lead. It does have the 120 Hz display refresh rate that gives you that smooth scrolling experience that at this point you only get with top flagship smartphones other than the iPhones, because the iPhones still do not have the 120 Hz refresh rate. So when I go to my display, there's no option here. I'm stuck at a 60 Hz display. So when I use this phone and I scroll around, there is some super scrolling effect here that you're only going to be able to feel with this phone. This one, when I use this one and then switch over here and move around, I can feel the stutter. Now, if you never handled a 120 Hz phone before, you're not going to worry about that. But going from here to here, you can tell a difference in smoothness. And that's just for scrolling. It's not speed. It just feels smoother to scroll back and forth. Another benefit to this phone, of course, is the larger display and a notch-free watching experience. It's got a small cutout, which makes things look a little bit better when you're watching them in full screen, as opposed to the iPhone. It's still got that big notch that gets in the way of watching a movie with total immersion. Alright, so that's the display. I would say the S20 FE gets a little lead here because of the 120 Hz. But remember, the iPhone screen is slightly sharper with a higher resolution. Now let's move on and talk about the software real quick. Again, this is Android, this is iOS. This is a fully customizable experience. You pinch the screen, you can go to your theme store and you can download so many themes that's going to make your phone look extremely different. You can install third-party launchers and just fully customize your phone to crazy levels. With this one, we now have some customization. It's the widgets. So you can now add widgets to the screen. You press and hold. You tap on plus, you get access to widgets. On this one, you pinch the screen, you go over here, you get access to your widgets here as well. But of course, this one has way more widgets available than the iPhone for now. But that's the only customization on this phone. This one can go much more deeper. However, when it comes to the App Store and gaming experience, the iPhone is going to be better. You go to that App Store, you have things like the Apple Arcade. You sign up for this thing, you get access to hundreds of games with no ads, and they all run at maximum quality. Of course, there's a lot of games over here too, but you will end up finding more exclusive games on the iPhone over the S20 FE. And I will let you know that the overall app quality and the overall ecosystem is going to be better on the iPhone. Again, that's not to say there's anything wrong here. If this is at 90%, this is just at 100%. But the games definitely play much better on the iPhone with no hiccups, maximum frame rate, super smooth. All right. Now, one last thing with the software, the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE does have a wireless DeX or wired DeX functionality. You can go over here, you can tap on DeX, and basically you can convert your phone into a desktop PC-like experience. You can do this with wires, or you can do it wirelessly, and it's going to project a desktop-like experience onto a high-definition TV, so you can use your phone as an entry-level computer to get work done. The iPhone does not have such an option. So Samsung does get more points for customization, productivity, and the iPhone has a better ecosystem. Now let's move on and talk about the actual camera. Alright, so with the camera, first and foremost, the camera versatility, the win goes to the S20 FE. It does have a triple camera system. You get an ultra wide and a wide at 12 megapixels each, and also it has an 8 megapixel telephoto camera. Now the iPhone does not have a telephoto camera. It has a 12 megapixel system for both the ultra wide and the standard wide camera. So more versatile camera system. Now the camera quality on both of these smartphones is pretty good, as you can see by these side-by-side images. And I will let you know one thing: when it comes to zooming capabilities, the iPhone maxes out at 5 times hybrid zoom, while the S20 FE is offering you 30 times space zoom. So in that sense, it has more options. Now one more thing, both of these cameras have similar resolutions for their video recording capability. So both of them can go up to 4K at 60 frames per second here and here. But I will let you know that the overall video quality and video recording experience is in fact better on the iPhone. If you are somebody that records video all the time and are serious about your videos, this might be a better option. Also, it offers HDR video, which is a 10-bit high dynamic range video with Dolby Vision. That's a movie quality video recording on your iPhone. It just is going to be a little bit better. Now for the average consumer, these things don't matter too much. So I would say both cameras, both in photo and video, will in fact satisfy the average consumer, no problem. So let's move on and talk about the battery and biometric. Now both phones have very good battery life. You are going to last a full day, no problem. But I will let you know one thing: the wired charging on this one is going to be faster than the iPhone. This phone can charge from 0 to 100 within 1 hour and a couple minutes. This one always takes 1 hour and 45 minutes to fully charge from 0. They both have wireless charging capability. Now this phone has an additional option. So basically, if I go over here, I have the wireless power share option that allows me to charge another device on the back of the phone. So if I enable this, and if I just flip it over, I can put something here, and it's going to charge that product. It can even charge the iPhone. So if I put the iPhone here, it's going to start to charge the iPhone. Okay, so that's a great on-the-go functionality. As a counter, the iPhone now has the MagSafe charging option. So if I flip this over, there's a magnet in the back here. You can attach this wireless charger that you have to buy separately. It attaches to the back of the product and charges your phone, and it's a magnetic attachment, so it's a pretty strong attachment. I can lift the phone with it. Nice little accessory, but I think the wireless power share option is better. You cannot charge stuff on the back of your iPhone. One more thing, the S20 FE comes with a charger in the box. The iPhone does not, so you have to spend another $20 for an actual charging brick like this one over here. All right, now let's move on and talk about the biometrics. Now this one has a built-in optical fingerprint sensor. So if I have the phone turned off, if it's laying on the table, I can double tap to wake it and just log right in. With this one, we have the Face ID system on the notch. So if I want to unlock this one, I just go like this, look at it, boom, it unlocks. They both work flawlessly. It's going to be based on your choice. I will let you know that this Face ID system is the same Face ID system you get on the more expensive iPhones, but this fingerprint sensor here is not the same. Okay, this is an optical fingerprint sensor. What you get on the higher end models is an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Not a big deal, but something you should know. Now let's move on and see which one of these phones is actually better based on everything that we have talked about. Alright, so let's remember one thing. This one is $700, this one is $800. Now that's not a huge price difference, so I'm not going to concentrate on that too much. But both phones have a bunch of advantages over the other. Let's quickly list them. Here's the S20 FE advantages. It's got a better frontal design. It's got the wireless power share option. It's got faster wired charging and also has functions like wireless DeX. The S20 FE also has expandable storage and higher base storage for the price. And of course, the iPhone 12 has its own advantages in this case. It does have better video recording. Even though the photos are similar, I think the video, iPhone gets a win. It does have a superior build quality. And of course, you cannot ignore the fact that it has powerful A14 Bionic chip. You know, otherwise, they both have wireless charging. They both have IP68 grade water resistance. They both have quality displays that are going to satisfy people. And seeing how both of these prices are almost similar on both of these smartphones, I'm going to have to say that I think these phones are equally deserving of your attention. So if you ask me a direct question, hey, which one is the better smartphone? In this case, it's going to be hard for me to say. Maybe I would end up telling you guys, go with the software that you're more comfortable with, whether you want a customization capabilities or you want some ecosystem capabilities, it's going to be up to you. So this is one video in which when I compare a Samsung and an Apple smartphone, it's hard for me to come to a definitive conclusion and say one of them is the winner. I think both of these guys do win. The prices are acceptable, at least relatively acceptable. So that is the only conclusion I can come up with. Let me know down below what you guys think, which one is the better, whether or not you agree or disagree with my conclusion. All right, guys, for now, have a fantastic day. All right, so if you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe to SAKITECH by clicking that button, and also click that bell icon on the side to make sure you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you do use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you can follow me at SAKITECH online to get the latest updates as well. All right, have a fantastic day.